Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Ranbir Sanghera Strength and Health and Fitness and Gains and all kinds of things like that podcast. And today's topic is form and technique, why it's so important, and what it really means to you, and how it's really the key to unlocking all the things that you want physically, all right? And so I like to keep things really simple, and people will always come and ask about, what program should I do? How many sets and reps should I do? And which exercises should I do? And, having that structure is really good. But what I really like to have my clients understand, and just people who are asking questions, is that none of those things matter. They don't matter if you never end up sticking to anything long enough to find out what your body is capable of, and then to really unlock the potential and the gains that you have inside of you. Because it works like this. Like, you could go work out today, you're not going to see anything. You could work out tomorrow, you're not going to see anything. You can work out a week in a row, 2 weeks in a row, a month, a year. You may not see anything in the short term, but over that year, though, at the end of the year, you will definitely see something, right? Any given workout by itself will not mean anything, okay? So what's the point with that? The point is, the worst thing that you can do is stop working out, okay, during that year, because then you have to have all of those workouts in order to end up at the end of that year and be like, oh wow, like, man, my body is completely different. And so form and technique is such a huge part of this, because I remember like going through workouts, I'm like, oh man, that hurts, that doesn't feel good, and thinking, oh man, like, this is what it takes. And so two options are possible here: workouts that's like don't feel good, or exercises that are painful. You just eventually you stop doing them, or you are like, oh, no pain, no gain, and you have, you're really stubborn and you just push through it, and then inevitably you will have injury. So the simple thing that I want you to recognize and be aware of is that the key is making sure that you are only doing the things that are causing your muscles to get stronger and to grow, and you have to be able to do that for a long time. And so along the way, you cannot get hurt, okay? Now, this is not the end of the world if you get hurt, because those are also learning experiences, but it will change the way that you approach your training. And so we have a saying here at San Jose Barbell, and it is, lift with your muscles, not with your ego, right? So do you care about how much weight you lift? Okay, because you gotta ask yourself, why did I start to work out? What did I start to work out so that I can say I lift a certain number? Like, you randomly picked a number. What is that number giving you, right? Or did you start to work out because you wanted to look the way you want to look and feel the way you want to feel, right? And so when you continuously bring it back to that goal, then you should recognize that the number on the bar or the dumbbell or whatever doesn't really matter at all. So the way to get the result that you want is to lift that weight with as impeccable form and technique as you can, using the muscle and not using momentum or throwing the weight around, and then you're not getting full range of motion because the weight's too heavy or anything like that, okay? So I like to keep it, the thing that I think about is, okay, well, how do I keep my form on point if I don't have somebody coaching me? First of all, if you have the option and the ability to get a coach, somebody that you trust, somebody that knows what they're talking about, somebody who practices what they preach, somebody who has results, if you find that person, okay, whether in person or online, in person definitely helps, but either way, listen to what they say, right? That's step one, and try to soak up as much information and improvement as possible. Now, if you don't have that, all right, go online. There's plenty of videos and things that kind of get you going in the right direction. And then these are the principles that you need to apply. Okay, one, everything you do should look pretty. Okay, if you can't make it look graceful, that means this movement is not for you today. That doesn't mean you can never do it, but at the moment, if you cannot make it look elegant and graceful and beautiful and pretty, then you're not benefiting from it. Okay. Nobody needs to know anything about exercise science to know whether or not a deadlift with a rounded back looks good, right? You could just tell, like, that doesn't look very good. So with that, like, you know, if you're by yourself or you can record yourself, you know, look at yourself and see, does that look smooth? Does that look controlled? Was there momentum happening there? Was there like flailing around that shouldn't be happening? Look at the face. Is there a pain face? Like, oh my God, like that doesn't look like it's feeling very good. Like, these things will tell you if your form is good or not. Like, a lot of times when I'm coaching somebody, like, I don't even really need to, like, I'll get more information from the person's face than I will from, like, you know, either, you know, sometimes, because when you ask somebody, like, hey, how's that feel, what's going on, they'll just say, oh yeah, it was all right. Like, they don't know yet how it feels, right? And so what face are you making, right? These things really, really will help you sharpen up your form and technique. And then here's the second thing. If there's pain, that means you're doing something wrong or there's something off. Something has to be adjusted. Pain is your guiding system, okay? It's like, think about it like this, like, you know, if you're bowling and you roll that bowling ball down the lane and you have bumpers up, every time you hit the bumpers, that's pain, right? And so that bumper is pushing you back towards the middle and guiding you in the right direction, right? So use those pain signals as a guidance system to push you in the direction that you need to go in to continue to make progress, right? Now, people think all these terms are relative. You need to lift heavy. Yeah, you need to lift heavy, but in relation to what, right? And what I want you to think about is, like, think about that muscle or actually exerting your will on the weight, right? Versus the other way around. I don't care how much weight it is. I need to be able to control it. So don't try to put so much weight on the bar that you can't fully control it. And it's like, you can tell when people are just ego lifting and their range. Here's the thing, like, as the weight gets heavier, the range of motion gets smaller. The brain's not stupid. The brain's not going to let you go all the way to your chest if you have way too much weight on the bar. The brain's going to say, hey, dummy, this isn't good. Breaks. Same thing with a squat. Breaks. Right? So things to think about. And if you apply these principles, I guarantee you will make progress. And now, if you have these principles, now you can pick a program and actually get something out of it. It doesn't really matter which program you pick. Like, at this point, now that you have these principles, you will make progress no matter what program you pick, right? However, you can take the best programs in the world and be like, oh yeah, this is scientifically proven, like this rep scheme and this loading scheme and blah, 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 and this guy did it and he's talking about it and Wolverine did it and whatever. But if you don't have these principles, you're not going to stick with it and you're not going to do it for 52 weeks and you're not going to get results. So you have to, I'm begging you, if you really want results, you have to listen to this and you have to marry yourself to these principles. That's it. There's nothing else. There's no secret. There's no secret program that will help you get there. All right. So we'll leave it at that for today. Now I'll give you my, if you're starting out, what kind of things you can do. I'll give you, let's see, the basic, any basic program works, upper body, lower body split. There's a million of them online. You could always go with the tried and true 5x5 programs, just don't get caught up because that program says add 5 pounds every week to your every lift and so on and so forth. Like, yeah, those work, especially at the beginning, but if you could add 5 pounds to your lift, for a year or 2 years, like, man, you add quite a bit of weight to all your lifts, right? So just something to think about. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, have a wonderful evening. Go lift some goddamn weights, and I will catch you here at another date. Have a great day, guys.